to another episode of Study Hall here on UFSU University. My name's Tam, and I'm joined by...
Travis, TNT Tangeman.
James.
Tyler.
Before we get into it, happy birthday, James.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Birthday boy.
Happy birthday.
At time of recording, James Stevens has just turned 14 years old, and we're all very happy for him. So give him some love down in the comments.
Yeah, it was his birthday last week. Now.
Today.
As of now.
Of time of recording.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, as of time of recording, it would be... As of time of recording, it's today. As the time this video comes out will be 4 days ago.
Well, it comes out tomorrow, so...
Comes out tomorrow?
For Patreon.
Yeah.
So, speaking of
Patreon was
Patreon, if you like the content, please go to
Nice segue.
patreon.com/UFS University. Subscribe to one of the tier levels and get the podcast early. $1 gets you the MP3. $3 gets you the video format. My computer's fixed. Yay!
Woo!
Apparently, so like I know jack shit about computers.
Right.
Obviously, I have a terabyte in that computer.
Yeah, you have a lot of, I saw
Yeah.
you have
There's
a lot of
bunch of
memory.
space. There's a bunch of space.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize. I brought it to my dad, and he's like, "You've got a C drive and a D drive?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" And he's like, "That D drive's real big." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, my D drive's so fucking big." I
then you
can
remember-
fit
and then you're-
so many floppy disks in my D drive.
And then you figured out he was talking about the computer and not your dick.
What? But no, I've lost everything, but the Phoenix shall rise again. It will be better. It will be more awesome.
Yes.
Now you don't have to delete anything for a while.
And I don't have to delete anything ever. Ever.
Terabyte is a lot.
So how was your guys'
So how do you recover it? How do you recover it?
What?
How do you recover it?
He honestly just cleaned it. He just like, fucking, let's just get it out there. He could not get the files back.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's fine. We just
Yeah.
need the program.
We need the computer.
Yeah. Yikes.
How's your week?
My week was good. I've been testing with a bunch of air characters, so Satoshi, Rikuo. I'm going to probably build Sagat at some point. I also am testing Shinnok right now.
Why the fuck would you build Sagat?
Because he's really cool with the card that we're presumably about to discuss.
But you can play that on anybody.
Yeah, but it's even better in a character that shoves cards into his own card pool.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Okay. So, James, how was your week in UFS?
Oh, thank you so much for speaking, Travis.
I want Tam to do it. God damn it. I want Tam to ask me. Tam, can you ask me?
Tyler,
Actually, Tyler, you want to ask
would you ask James how his week was?
Hey, birthday boy. I have two things to ask you. One, I love you. Please don't.
That's not a question.
One, I love you. Please don't spend your.
Would you please not spin it?
Please, I love you. Please. Thank you. I love you. Birthday boy. I love you. Also, how was your week in UFS, birthday boy?
I'm playing Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple?
Order.
And you went to locals, yes?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
1-1-1.
You tied one?
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Which got you 8th place, something like that.
Yeah, it was something pretty bad. But I also had two absolutely terrible matchups.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's hard for a 2-life character when two of your 3 opponents say on block burn 2. And I have 2 lives, so I have to block everything.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough. It's amazing I got that one draw.
Yeah, I agree. I think you had the roughest night the whole time. How's order working though? Is it better than Death, you think? Are you playing Moonset?
I'm not playing Moonset.
You fucking
I
idiot.
think I'm going to add Moonset.
You have to.
But
That's the only way you can play Order.
that's not true.
That is true.
That's not true at all.
Order, Water, Life, you should be playing Moonset decks.
Nah.
Is a real good card.
Yeah.
I also built Eva.
They banned a card because of what Moonset does.
What card?
Ever hopeful.
Oh, they errated it.
Oh,
Yeah.
they
But
errated
They
it.
banned it first.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
No.
It's hot errated.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Get slammed. Idiot.
fun.
How about you?
I was playing Zombicell.
Which I think is the coolest deck you've made recently.
Sure. I was playing him under Death because I
Sure.
looked at Withering Toxin. I was like, this card's cool. I looked at Zombicell and I was like, I want to play this guy because nobody's played him ever.
In the history of ever.
In the history of ever. He's
Shout
never
outs-
been played.
Shout out to Jesse Cervini with
Yeah.
his 1,000 card.
Well, good job,
That's awesome.
Jesse. He's really cool. But then I saw Withering Toxin. I was like, huh, that's real nice. That's real cool. I like that.
That card's real
So
good
I
in
played
him.
that, then changed it because Withering Toxin isn't really all that spectacular, and Spider Suplex is a million times better. But so I had a lot of fun with that. It's just an okay. It's okay. It's cool when you have 3 cards in their card pool and you get to reversal it, but then every other time it's like, no, I'd rather just have anything else.
I think he's so cool because he can be a 10-hander.
Sure.
He can be a 10-hander.
Kind of, yeah.
To the point where like we're talking about this like new card. You could run that card in your deck
Yeah.
and just be like
Reversal a few things.
block, reversal, remove, block, reversal, play
Wait,
this thing, discard my momentum that I got from
isn't
touching
it
you.
A form?
It's a response,
It's a response?
after an
Oh,
attack
okay.
is
Okay.
after an attack resolves.
Hype.
So you then discard all your blocks and then just like draw more cards and you're like, well, I don't care as long as these have blocks on them because I'm going to pull attacks out of my discard pile. You can clear your card pool too. That's fine. I'm going to keep poking you on the reversal. Talking about covert, whatever.
Covert intent.
Intent. I did fine. I played all DJ. I won locals. It was...
Dejanette,
All
not DJ
Dejanette.
the character.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All DJ is a character that has all.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. Dejanette. I keep saying DJ, and I was talking to Keenan Meadows, and I was like, because I texted him, because like the main reason I was on the Scorpion train is like at Worlds, I was just like, hey man, I was a little disappointed how I did with Jackie. She's a little hit or miss. I think I'm just gonna play Scorpion for like the rest of my life. Like he's such a fun character. Like he's like an ex-girlfriend that like you constantly meet back up and you're like, oh, why did I break up with you? And then like you remember that he's only average when you play him, and then you break up and you play other things and you go, man, you're like, man, I saw Scorpion at the bar the other day and he was looking pretty fun. And then I found DJ, who's the hotness right now, Dejanette, and I texted him and I was like, hey man, sorry to bum you out, but I switched from Scorpion and I'm gonna play DJ at the event. And he's like, what? Fuck, no, shit, Tam, no, don't do it. Because he's like,
In that
"You
exact
better-
order."
You better show me a list right now, buddy.
Seems it's very Keenan.
It is not DJ from the Street Fighter set. It is Dejanette. The deck's super fun. I've shown Scott Desjarnet, who won the most recent PTC, and he gave me some tips, some advice, and he's like, he was spot on with everything that he said. He's like, you should play this card unless you're thinking this. And I'm like, I was thinking that. And he's like, then you should play this card unless you're thinking this. And I'm like, I was thinking that. And he goes, wow, we're on the same wavelength. I just chose to do these things instead of these things. And I was like, oh, all right, rad. I'm super down for that. So yeah. Anything else to add?
I'm playing Blanca next weekend because I want to play
This weekend?
This weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm playing Eva.
If I was going, I'd play Spike. Spike 2.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna be there.
I'm not going to be there.
Tyler, it might just be me and you.
I guess we're not having it then.
No. You definitely still
I'm
should.
gonna show up.
You definitely still
Well, hold
should.
up. If it's just you and me.
You definitely still should. So like, they're gonna easily. I mean, Travis will be there. Well, we can have like you can sound the alarm and people will go.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on to our first.
Weeboo.
Moving on to our first topic, I do want to talk about this covert card. I think that's a good starting point. Travis, you have done the most testing with the card. You printed up 4 proxies and tried to play it in Schnock. Tell me about it. Tell me its stats. Tell me what it says.
So it is a 5/1 no block
What's the name?
with covert intent. 5/1 no block with the infinity symbol. It says R, discard a momentum after an attack resolves. Discard all cards from both players' card pools, and each player draws X cards, where X was the number of cards that either player or both players cleared. So you draw the number that you cleared, they draw the number they cleared. Reset progressive. The card's actually insanely good. It's reminiscent of a card that was in King of Fighters block called Kunoichi no Mai.
Block.
Yeah. Which did essentially the same thing and also ignored progressive, but you had to have 4 cards in your card pool before it when you played it in order for it to ignore progressive. And it was also an enhance compared to a response, correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So they could cancel it with a few more things than they can cancel the covert with.
Yeah, let's talk about it. It doesn't have a block. It checks a 1. It's a 5. It's an action with the infinity symbol, which is cool. It's neato. I kind of actually wish it just had symbols, honestly.
I think for balance reasons, I think it should have had symbols. Because I think having this card open to every symbol is a bit too much.
I I don't want to say this because I love the people at Jasco, but like taking my having my professional, sorry, not my professional, but like taking my journalistic integrity. I actually think this is like the first real example since we got Bebop and like their big set of like this is actually like a cash grab. Hey, please buy our 10s. This card's insane.
Yeah. This card is absolutely absurd.
You need 4 of it because it has the infinity symbol, and you should have 4 of every card that says infinity on it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the card?
I think the card's going to get banned.
Think so?
Yeah.
I agree.
That card's going to last less time than Maxi, in my opinion.
Less time than Maxi.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna be a little hard.
Yeah, that is really hard. Maxi was out for PTC.
Yeah.
You think it's going to be a PTC? It's going to be all over the place. You think
I guess
you
it's
think
going to be more time than Maxi, but that's only because not everyone's going to get it right away.
fair?
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Did you know they changed the way the infinity symbol works now?
Yes, I did.
That's the coolest part about this
You
card.
probably do a TLDR on it, but
Yeah, we'll get to it eventually.
So why do you think it's going to get banned?
Oh, because that thing says draw X cards
Okay.
at the cost of just 1 momentum.
Okay. Yeah. Like,
And we had an entire topic about how come momentum-free cash grab is not good.
yeah. Right now, momentum is very, very good. My issue is that like it is a 5-1. Like we played a bunch of games last night, and that card never won you the game.
Yeah, that is true.
That card never won you the game, and that card did lose you a game.
Yeah.
You checked a 1. You checked that card and was like, oh, I guess I will fail my second card, and I'll be like,
Yeah.
I'll play 6 cards this turn.
Yeah.
I have no
So
chance of me doing that.
I think in that matchup, it was more because the card never won me games because you brought in like all of these cards and just had a shit ton of answers for it. But
You were playing Shinnok. There are no answers.
There are no answers. to that.
You had answers for my momentum.
There
though.
were no moves.
You had answers for my momentum. So like what the Shinnok deck was doing was I would sadistic ways to multiple and leave like 1 momentum so I can use this card to clear my card pool and draw more cards than my opponent because I just played multiple copies. But obviously when your opponent has a tight control on your momentum with something along the lines of the 3-diff you were playing.
We are many, you are but one.
Yep, that card. Which says
Which is super good right now.
Yeah, which says enhance check a 6+. Your opponent discards 1 momentum is very good.
Super good, especially versus a character that versus it's for the mirror, honestly.
Yeah. And then there's also stuff like
Fuck your momentum.
there's also stuff like Spaceland, which is another really good tight momentum hold that says your opponent just kind of doesn't get access to this thing if they're adding it during the combat phase.
you have to do attacks that have done damage to
Yep.
get your momentum.
Yep. So it says your opponent has to play the game the way it's intended or commit this card that's stopping them from doing so. I think the card, despite that, is insane. Like, you can afford to run that many answers because you're a 7-hander. You're one of the probably few good 7-handers, I'd say. So there's like X, Dejanet, Mad P,
I think there's a shit ton of good 7-handers.
And-
I don't know what you're fucking
and-
talking about.
What do you mean?
There's more than just like 5 good 7-handers.
I don't think so.
We can talk about it.
That's not this topic. This topic is
We'll talk
Covert.
about it. We'll talk about it afterwards. Wish I had a pen and paper. Will you give me one?
Yeah, I can.
I got it, don't worry.
Travis, give me one piece of pen and paper. So like my thing is like it feels a little bit like a win more card. I'm not positive. Like the cool thing about Nomai was it did what, like 7 damage or some shit.
Yeah.
Like it was beefy. Like it smacked you and you had to deal with it, right?
Yeah, but back then characters didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
I hear you. So like maybe this card's really nuts in Jet or something. Like yeah. So like I get. What are you doing? Just walk. What are you doing? So like I get.
Just crouch.
I get the fact that like it's good, but I feel it as more like a win more card. It was pretty funny. I get it like a win more card. I could see it like as in like a one of if you're like I'm determined to check this really poorly. I'm just like
So, I don't know. I think the card is absurd if your opponent does not have the momentum answers for you. I also think that it might be slightly win more in Shinnok, but the turns where I killed you, you were very low on resources, meaning that if I would have done things the way I was going to, I always had a covert after you were already dead. So
why is it there?
Well, I can't do anything about you having very low resources and just dying to my attacks before I can play this card. So, I don't know. Sometimes your opponent just doesn't have the stuff and they die and you can't play your cool win condition.
What I'm saying is it's like not as good as Bang, right? Like what symbols? Like there are so many symbols that are already playing like 9 actions. You can't like throw this action on top. You just can't. So which means like, oh, I have to cut or revoke for this? No, there's no way I'm gonna cut or revoke for this. Cut counterspell for more combo pieces? No.
You would have to cut attacks.
Yeah.
I would just play. I'd like it as a defensive piece.
That too.
Tell me about it.
We were talking about it beforehand. Like that card doesn't say your attack. It just says after an attack resolves. Clear both players' card pools and both players draw. Like if you're able to just defend better, you just clear your own card pool, let your opponent draw. You're fine. Whatever. Draw back up to whatever how many cards and still block.
That does sound terrible. That does sound like not a good thing to do. My attacks didn't work. Let's clear my progressive and try again on my turn. It's like you had to use resources to block. Like there's no way I'm gonna clear a bunch of nutcrackers out of your progressive so you can sling more nutcrackers at me. There's no way I'm gonna clear from hell so you can sling
Yeah,
more.
but you know if you're
from
gonna
hells.
die to something, might as well give it a try, right?
And you know that's fair.
And combo decks just get wrecked.
Yeah.
by
So
it.
I think at that point it just turns into Taki, and you just do it on the first one.
Right. This, I mean, it sounds really cool in Taki. It sounds really cool in Spike. Like it should have the air symbol on it. Like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You ready? It should have jury symbols. Maybe give it fire because of what's her face. It should have void. It should have air and give it all because it draws cards. Whatever.
You should just have jury symbols. Jury didn't get a support card.
But
Yeah.
it is
Sure.
it is Sea Viper's card.
Jury's in the background.
Jury's in the background.
I still think it's Sea Viper.
It's supposed to be Sea Viper's card, but you know,
Sea Viper's
Technically, we don't know her symbols, so
she doesn't have any. She has all 13, all 12. That's what
You're
the
right.
card says.
Yeah, infinity's not a symbol.
Yep.
So yeah, I think this card is neat. I actually think it's totally fun. I think you're gonna
build a deck
check
and
it just as
prove
much
you
as you
wrong.
play it, and I think it's going to be fine. Not once last night when I was playing against Shinnok, arguably the person who can play it the best, did I feel like, oh, I lost because he cleared his card pool and drew a bunch more cards. I cleared my card pool too. Like I got to defend just as like your exact logic of, hey, if I can block more. Like I just gave all my attacks minus one, all of your attacks plus 1 speed for the rest of the turn, and you just cleared that for me. I'm down.
I think it wouldn't nearly as much of a problem if it didn't ignore and had a 2-check instead.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually think it'd be unplayable.
I agree.
I,
The
uh,
the
I think
entire
it'd be
point of the
playable.
card.
Maybe
No,
maybe
but
like
only because
a
Call of the
4,
Wildlands.
maybe a 4th then.
I still think it's
Change the
unplayable.
numbers a little bit.
At that point, why wouldn't you just play another attack?
I
Because it
think
didn't clear your card pool and draw you a bunch of
I
cards.
think the issue is the same thing we had with Scorch Wheel. All of this card ignores progressive cards, unless it is a foundation like over the top, which like that the point of it's to like not count towards progressive or whatever. Or sorry, not ignore. Sorry, ignore progressive is you need to stop making cards that say ignore progressive and difficulty 5. Make it a 6 and that card's fine. Make it a 6/1 and I'll play it. That's
Like they did for Dust for Dust.
right. That's a fair card. I need to be able to commit one
I'm upset
foundation.
about
I need to be able to commit one foundation in order to play this thing. But like you take
Or
away
check lucky.
you take away the difficulty by 1 and make it a momentum cost, and hopefully there's momentum generation in every symbol. Well,
Good thing there's fatality.
good thing, huh?
Nah, yep.
So yeah, I think this card is fine. I don't think I don't think it is a bang. I don't think it is a fatality. Like right now, I feel like every deck should be playing 3 fatality, just because of momentum being such a vital key. Like I think everybody should be playing it. I don't see why even as 7-handers. I understand that I'm playing Dejanet, but like even at Scorpion, it was such a struggle to not put fatality in. My fatalities instead were like demon grabs. Like that was my fatality instead, or instead of playing fatality, play Swallow Your Soul or Redemption or something along those lines. That like, hey, this guaranteed my momentum. But yeah, This action's neat. I'm excited to see what it does. You can find it. Go to your local card shop and ask for them to order the Crimson Viper tins as well as the Ryu tins in order to get these cards. You'll get these exclusive cards as well as
6 packs.
Yeah, 6 packs. 6 packs, $25 plus
Platinum, 3 Street Fighter, 1 Mega Man, 1 Darkstalkers versus Street Fighter.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to add onto the action? Is there anything else you guys think about?
I don't believe so.
Any cool combos that you can think of right now?
So like the two most basic ideas that I can think of when it comes to this card are Sagat and Akuma, because they both shove cards into their card pool. Yes, Akuma can play this card, and he can just flip this. Sick, -2.
I found the issue with the card. It's Akuma.
I mean,
fucking shit. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's Akuma. Akuma's the reason this card's not fair.
Yeah.
Because now, like, I don't have to play Coffee Samba.
yeah, you could literally just play this card instead.
I'll play Fatality. I'll clear all of these face downs and just, like, I don't know, restart my turn. And then...
Oh, I drew 20 cards? Sick. I'll play 6 more attacks.
Yeah.
Are you having fun yet, opponent?
Yeah. Because, like, now you just play 4 Fatality.
Fun, Mr. Krabs!
You just play 4 Fatality and just, like, under Evil, you just stuff your card pool. You don't even have to play Coffee Samba anymore. Who cares?
Yeah.
I no longer have to worry about that one check. I've got this one.
Right.
And this one draws me cards.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Coffee Samba drew cards too.
This one draws me more.
This draws
Potentially.
way more cards than Coffee Samba.
Sure. Potentially.
What do you mean
Depending on
potentially?
When you play it.
Well, okay, so even on our first attack, we have 1 momentum. Even on our first attack, I play an attack. I stuff one in with Akuma. I stuff one in with admonition fees.
Sure.
I drew 3, stunned you 1, hit you for...
No, you drew 4. It clears itself.
It counts itself.
It counts itself?
Yes.
This card doesn't remove?
No.
Costs discard momentum.
Yep. It hits your card pool.
Ryan?
It evens you. It evens
Ryan.
you.
It hits
evens.
It hits the card pool,
It
clears
replaces
everything.
itself, just like Let's Cut Loose.
Ryan, why would you do this? Yeah, the card's not fair. So the cool thing I thought of was, I think it's only not fair in Akuma, and Bebop is gonna be all over the place now. Discard your momentum, don't discard your card pool. I guess fail that thing. I guess if you do cancel it though, that means it sticks in the card pool.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which
And
is,
it doesn't count for progressive.
no. It ignores progressive. It still counts.
That's
Yeah.
Right. An evening with Grin.
Can also pick this card up.
I'll pick this up from my discard pile. Discard momentum after your attack resolves. Let's kick them all. Let's get rid of them.
So I was actually thinking about this the other day, but your Fey deck, the one, the Explosion deck,
Yeah.
I'll give it multiple 6.
Who's Fadek?
Tyler, you're faded.
Excuse me, who's Fadek?
You better.
Tyler's
you better
Fey
show
deck.
some res-
There
you
you
better
go.
show some respect.
So
all right, I stole that deck fair and square, but it was not mine originally. I did steal it.
you okay? Explosion multiple 5. Oh, sick. I'll actually multiple 4. Sick. Clear 6. Draw 6.
What do you mean? They're gonna kick with windmill punch.
Just don't kick them.
Don't kick him.
No. But like I'll kick one. I'm gonna multiple it out. Kick one and then put the momentum back in.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yep. So you
Yeah.
can just fully multiple it.
Yeah.
That.
Which I mean, by that time I've thrown 14 attacks. So I mean, I'm just playing a 1-check for no reason. This is what I'm saying. It's like, I don't need this card. You don't need it.
My weapons Teisei deck.
It's very good in weapons. Yeah. It is very Yoshimitsu. This card actually checks a 3 most of the time.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm in it. This card's cool.
Yeah.
Card's still gonna get banned.
With
so fast.
with that, let's go ahead and move on to topic 2.
Hey.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Study Hall here on UFSU University. My name's Tam, and I'm joined by
Travis TNT Tangerman.
James?
Tyler. I want you to say birthday boy after your name.
Oh nope.
No.
What's Study Hall is for the unenrolled. We're taking a bunch of your guys' UFS topics, as well as some of our own who sit down and we discuss them for your amusement, entertainment, and knowledge. So with that said, a little bit of housekeeping. Go to Patreon. We'd love your support. You guys said that there's good 7-handers, bad 7-handers. Let's just talk about that. Let's just air it out a little bit. You know.
Go back to what I was doing then. 7.
How do you feel about 7-handers? I mean, you're the in the topic prior where we talked about covert
Intent.
intent. Want me to write the name down of the card?
I just saw it. Okay.
Yeah, so we can reference it.
INT. Covert intent. How do you feel about 7-handers? Are they good right now?
I mean, just probably as good as they've always been.
We just had a 7-hander win a major for the first time since Athena, correct?
Yes.
Sure.
Which is
Which wasn't very long.
I mean, it was what, a full year?
Full year.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad since there hasn't been a 600 that won that I know of since Witzel,
Right.
which was 2014.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like we thought we were on the uprise of 6-handers. Apparently we weren't.
I mean, like,
Keep him in a corner.
It was always that there was 6-handers winning, not 7-handers, right?
There's always 7-handers.
Always
winning,
7-handers
not
winning.
sixes.
And then we got Spike, followed by Cassie Cage, and now Rap top.
Okay.
We
Which
didn't have
Destroys
anything.
Stationnet, just so you know.
Yeah.
If you want to beat Stationnet, just play Raptor.
Yeah.
I'll respond and blow up your foundation. Do you want to put that back in my hand? I'm down. Oh,
Epic.
this hurricane of death. Oh no, I'll put it back in my hand. I'll blow that thing up if you would. Actually, I can speak.
you want to put it back in my hand? Yeah, I'll pick it up.
I'll play it again.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Oh no! It's an 8-speed flash coming at you. Don't do anything.
Hey, you wanna enhance to like look at the top of your card of your deck? No, I don't think so.
Not today.
Yeah, I think 7-handers are still good. I still think you have to play post
Bebop 7.
handers. I still think you have to play Map Pro. I still think you have to play
I
like
think
the
there's
old,
some 7-handers you can play there.
such as
I think Cammy's gonna be. I think Cammy can be really nuts right now. No one's gonna try her. But Vega,
I agree with.
Can't it be a nuts under chaos?
Jury, Vega,
Oh God.
Heidi.
I think
know
Vega
why?
will always be good, yeah.
Why?
Queen of Hearts, baby. Look at that hand.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Does she have
You
void?
only get one high block and the rest lows?
Does she have,
We'll get rid of the high
hold
block.
up. Does Cammy
This is
have,
high now.
Chaos.
does
Yeah,
Cammy have void?
No.
No, she has
Chaos Life Order.
Oh
It's a-
yes,
it's
you
a
can't.
void
you,
enhance.
you can't look at the hand.
Oh,
It is a
that's
void
right.
enhance. Yep.
Yeah.
Dang it, they
Ruining
were thinking.
dreams.
They were.
Damn you, Ryan fam. You thought on this one, but not on Covert. Damn you. So like I'm looking over the shoulder. Like Lord Raptor's playable, Kin's playable, Shanghua's playable, Tornaluce's playable, Eugenia's apparently playable, Dejanet obviously is playable.
Is Eugenia 2 not a 7-hander?
It's a 1-1. It's a 1-1.
Okay. The only one? All right.
It's like
Zolt also had his numbers changed, which is weird. I think Melina is playable. I think Quan Chi is playable. I was fucking getting fucked up by Quan Chi's at Worlds all day.
Takeda, I think is playable. I think there's some cool stuff you can.
You
do
think
with it.
Takeda's playable?
Yeah,
Why do you think Takeda's playable?
because the combos with him still exist, and nobody's playing the counters they used to. The counters used to get fucked up by overly dramatic. And I haven't seen that card in about a year. I haven't seen that card since the Bebop format.
Interesting. Yeah. I think it's just hidden.
Because all of these Earth and Fire decks are for sure playing it at 4-ofs.
I haven't seen it.
we also don't have many Earth and or Fire decks here.
Well, and not here locally.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we should fix as
Yeah.
like a group.
Probably.
We haven't had a Miscellaneous deck in
I play
4 years.
I also think Satoshi is playable. Actually, just doing Shadow Blade Shuriken things
Plant
with
Man?
Reki and Mekimaru. Yes, I have that deck built. I think it's
No,
good.
hold on. You said 7-handers are good. You said 7-handers aren't good.
I think so.
So don't come over here saying
You
that
said there's only like 5 playable.
you don't come over
7-handers.
here on our side, on the right side of history,
So-
Travis. pretending like you've loved Plant Man since the beginning. All right?
Well,
Or Spike 1.
I do actually like Spike 1. But I digress.
Please.
So there are more 7-handers that are playable than I first had assumed.
Okay.
Because
Sasha.
because
I saw Aaron Cook's Sasha deck and it looked spicy as hell.
I mean, to be fair, you
Has
can
Fury.
You can play Covert in 10 in that deck.
You don't even need it.
You don't.
You just
but you can.
you play your
Under life,
Ghost
you
Thief,
get Moonset too.
Ghost Thief funerals
Under
on
Chaos.
Well,
on 4s and you just
Moonset-
smack
Moonset-
them real bad.
Moonset fuels your Covert in 10.
Moonset on a 5.
Moonset does fuel your Covert intent. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Moonset on a 5.
Man, that is interesting.
I think this is all like early game though.
Natali 3 dot
Not a character.
gets fuels your covert at 10.
Not not a character.
I know somebody who will disagree with that upstairs.
He's just not here right now to bitch about it.
You played him last week. No.
No.
Yeah, he played it. He didn't play.
He
it.
was-
played
he
it-
was-
he
he was
played
on
it.
the
So
character.
he played second girl.
So here's the thing. Better.
Hikaru.
Not a character.
Not a character.
I just like
bitch about it.
7-handers are really rad, and I'm digging the two that were just printed. Arguably, or 3 that were just printed, or 2 of them are arguably the best characters in the set, right?
And one's arguably the coolest character in the set.
Yeah, and the third one's the coolest for sure.
Yeah.
And so like they're doing a good job with 7-handers.
Yeah.
I think Lord Raptor as a 7-hander is perfect. I think Ken as a 7-hander is perfect. I think like the 7-handers that they're making and then designing are very cool. I think Hua honestly is perfect. Like
3 damage attacks are nothing.
3 damage attacks, they do no damage.
It's the reason. I'm okay with Zolt 1. Everyone was
And then
freaking out about
suddenly
Zolt. Everybody was freaking out about Zolt, like it's gonna be the next Akuma. It's like, yeah, it's cool.
No,
But
Zolt's,
like it's 1 damage.
Zolt's garbage.
No,
Why?
Zolt has one thing. He has
Yoshoki.
Not
Yeah,
a
he has
7-hander.
Shoki.
Who gives a shit?
he has Shoki. That's it.
Read the paper.
We're talking about 7-handers.
I was just talking about
Yeah,
their
but
creation of characters in general.
here's a hint. Nobody was high on Zolt minus that one combo.
The entire community was high on Zolt because they were expecting to get fucked up like they were for Akuma.
I didn't hear anything about this. I'm in the Discord, but
First entire week of this entire game when the set got spoiled, heard nothing but Zolt all the time.
Well, Zolt's cool.
He is.
he's cool.
Everyone was scared of 1/1s for some reason.
They're not 1/1s. They're X1s. It's whatever speed is. Still 1 damage though. So who gives
It's
a
just
shit?
like an
It's
extra
1
3
damage
damage to any attack.
He does a throw, which is totally fine.
Yeah,
Should have been a 7-handed.
might have been nuts.
Should have been able to fuel his own momentum. Should have had other things to use his momentum. Anyways,
So yeah, I think 7-handers.
have been playable since last
Ever.
format. Like
Yeah, they
I
have.
don't think 7-handers have gone away. I think we just happen to have more consistent 6-handers. If you look at the 6-handers that won, we had Spike, 2 progressive, and he gave himself an extra attack. So he was
As well as having
a 7-hander with extra life, and then we had Cassie Cage, who is consistent, and she turns all of her attacks into 1.5 attacks, and so at that point she guarantees the hit because of the speed buff plus the card's inherent damage buff, or vice versa, and so she has 6.5 hand size because of the stats on her attack cards, plus building down so that when she gets to block, she has a ready staging area. Like that's one of like the things about like the all builds right now that like fluster me, is the fact that because you're Cassie Cage, or because you were Maxi, or because of like how you play Akimbo, or how you play whatever, you build out this card pool, play 1 attack. That attack guarantees, like, gets you advantage, draws you cards, hits them for whatever, gets you momentum, stacks your deck, whatever. It gives you that true advantage. And then when your turn's over, your staging area that you had committed to play this card is ready again.
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to go in deep. It's just like I'm still playing the game. I have not advanced I've advanced my board without like committing to anything.
Yeah.
There's no commitment.
Yeah.
It's the reason I don't like. It's the reason like Cassie's the one character I want to play from that set, but refuse to play because how consistently good it is.
I think
I don't want to play it.
I think you're a fool, Harry Potter.
You're a fool.
It's so dumb.
Fool.
The deck's just too consistently good.
So before we move on,
Yeah.
I-
From 7-handers.
I just want to say, I thought I just had a brain blast. So Zolt with covert intent.
Yeah.
My multiples don't count.
It's the same. It's the same thing as Akuma.
Yeah.
Except Akuma can actually kill people.
Well, I
Except
mean,
Zolt
if you're
does-
hitting them with like 31 ones, they're probably gonna die
Well,
Man, better hope
because
you
his
have
multiples
31 ones.
don't count towards progressive.
I guess. But like, so Zolt and Akuma have like the same thing. Neither of those characters have 7-hand size. I think the 7-hand
right.
size. I think the 7-hand size is still good. I still think it is the best in the game. I don't think. I think 6-hand size is super good if you want consistency, and 7-hand size for the highest ceiling. And I think that's just how it's been. It's how it will always be. I think if you want to dig deep and you want to play a 5-hander, don't just play Goro. Like, there's not like you can play Yoshimitsu, but he's a 7-hander sometimes. You can play like Yoshimitsu like breaks the rule, right, because he draws 2 on mine and
Yeah, he's
your
a
turn.
9-hander.
Jackie breaks the rule because she
She's an
draws
8-hander.
on your opponent's turn, as well as Air Ground Smash is very good in her. But like there's not these 5-handers or 6-handers coming out of the woodwork that like, hey, this card's insane now because of this. Sans like the ultra top tiers. Cassie got crazy because of Maxi stuff. The Void Akuma list I was talking to Ben Shoemaker about. Oh my god, I think that list is insane. It actually makes me just want to play Akuma, honestly. Like honestly, that list, I wouldn't dare try and step on Ben Shoemaker's feet. There's no fucking way I'm gonna win that battle. But like that, like 7-handers are going to run rampant, and they're only going to get more. They get to be more flexible because of the cards that they draw. Look at prime example, Kevin Broberg's Spike 1-dot deck, the coolest deck of the format so far. So cool.
Besides the Akuma.
No, I actually think so. The Akuma deck is only cool and interesting because it's void, right? Because as he's trading off Coffee Sambas.
An idea I've had though.
Because he's he's trading off Coffee Sambas for Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
And that card's insane, especially in Akuma when you give it stun 1 and they don't have a hand because you nuked their hand. Oh, it's so sexy. But like, who the fuck? Nobody in their entire life has gone to an actual event and played Spike 2-dot in Spike 1-dot. Not one person has done that ever in the history of the world.
Yeah,
we could so if infinite timelines exist, there's still only our timeline where that's happened. like it's so rare.
I bet it's happened. I bet somebody's done it.
Not to an event.
I bet they have. I bet they have.
I would love to hear in the comments if you have actually done this. That would be very, very
Put
cool.
them on blast.
I mean, like locals don't count.
Yeah, like
I'm talking like
go to
somebody's
PTC.
Probably done it.
At like a PTC.
Yeah.
But like 7-handers are so flexible with the things that they can do. Just like existing, like Jury's playable, I believe. I totally think Jury's playable. I think that Vega's playable. I think that Satoshi is playable. I believe that. I believe the Fire Satoshi is even playable.
Yeah,
like,
Samba makes it.
Samba's nuts. And hey, I'm a 9. I'm a 10-hander.
Yeah,
blow you up. Like,
Samba and Shadowblade make those 2 symbols for him.
There's no reason that we couldn't play all of these super rad cards, and the reason is because I get to see that extra card every turn. Yeah, just how it is.
Another character that I think is just going to keep getting better as a 7-hander as sets go on is obviously Eugenia, because she's not restricted at all in what she's trying to do. She says, I get better depend on how good your opponent's deck is. So as decks get better and better, and we get better and better cards, she has better and better targets, which means she gets better as a character.
Well, so the counterplay there is just play a bad deck. And then, like, when you get to paired in, it's like, shit, my cards don't do anything, which means, like, your cards don't do anything, idiot.
And then she's a 7-hander, and she kills you anyway.
I'm playing a bad 7-hander, though, so. No, I can totally see that, though. What are your thoughts on 7-handers? Tyler, do you have anything to add?
No. I've over the years grown more comfortable against 7-handers.
Against 7-handers?
Against 7-handers,
You like playing against 7-handers?
I like it a little bit more because they're so easy to kill. It takes 2 attacks.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
If you catch a
Or
7-hander...
checking a 5 sometimes, I guess.
If you catch a 7-hander with their pants down, it's much easier to kill them than it is like a Goro who you caught with his
So
pants
the
down.
thing is, Goro, for the first 3 turns, always has his pants down.
Yeah. Very true. But he's still extremely hard to kill. I have 40 health. You have 17 health. Awesome.
4 nutcrackers kills him.
Yeah. I mean, sure. If you have the burning.
And we do. Because we're... What?
It's 5 nutcrackers.
What are you talking about?
5 nutcrackers.
Burning makes it 10.
Yeah. Because burning is stupid. And
okay.
And you only need 1 burning. It does not have to move.
oh yeah.
Then goes to your discard
I
pile.
mean, but then you're playing on a 6,
Sure.
on a 7. Like
Sure.
you have to pass
have to
all
do
of
it
it.
in 2 turns.
you got
And then I'll discard a momentum after I check this covert on a 5 and play 2 more nutcrackers out of my hand because I drew them off of my nutcrackers. And conveniently, I discarded that burning as well. So
You get fucked.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's just going to turn into 4 topics about covert.
I'm glad you're getting on the page that Covert's fucking nuts.
What are you guys' whatever. What are you guys' thoughts on 7-handers? We'd love to hear them in the comments down below. We talk about 7, 5, 6s all the time. We're going to talk. It's going to be a 2-second combo about an 8-hander one time. Like Splash Roll versus whatever. But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts? Leave in the comments down below. With that, we're going to move on to topic 3. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Study Hall here on UFSU University. My name's Tam, and I'm joined by
Travis, TNT Tangeman.
James.
And Tyler.
James the birthday boy. So, what Study Hall is for the unenrolled is we've taken a bunch of your guys' UFS topics, as well as some of our own, and we sit down and we discuss them for your amusement, entertainment, and knowledge. If you like the content and you want to support the show, please go out to patreon.com/UFS University. We'd love your support. But if you don't have any bucks to toss, that's totally fine. Doing the cool YouTube stuff is also very appreciated. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Open up 45 tabs, each with a different video in it.
Join. I don't think we have that yet.
What?
There's a new button called like join, and then
It's for live streamers on YouTube.
okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Speaking of live streaming, check us out on Sunday Fundays.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good segue.
Especially this weekend, because
nobody will be here.
nobody will be here.
They're all going to be at the PTC.
This topic is going to be about comparing cards. I was looking at just every UFS card that's ever existed ever. St. Nicholas is sick. I'm just kidding. And I was looking at like how my question is the question,
The most important question.
the thing that's on my mind, James,
Okay.
42.
Tell me.
is how do you decide which card that has a similar effect goes in your deck? The example that I have is speed reduction under Earth. You ready?
Okay.
So we have
Heart of the Mountain.
Heart of the Mountain. We have
Know your objective.
thank you. That's the one I actually couldn't think of. We've got Dark
Great
Side of
Sword.
Karma. We've got
Dark Side. I guess
the Great Sword.
Sword of whatever from Zazasama.
Yeah. We have now
Evil Eye.
Evil Eye. These are 5 cards that reduce speed, minus speed, return speed to printed. How do you decide, as personally as a player, which of these cards? And I'm not saying what speed reduction do you play. I'm saying what matters to you whenever you are picking a card. What matters to you? You've got so many options.
The frank answer is whatever synergizes the most with your deck, because out of those 5 cards.
It's Tam. Actually, it's not Frank. My name's Tam. It's been Tam the whole time.
All right.
What?
Frank.
I don't
If
think
that
we can be
is
friends.
even your real
I
name.
don't think we can be friends anymore.
Uh,
I
so
don't think we
it's
can
whatever
be friends.
synergizes the best with your deck. So like out of the 5 cards you just named, I think 4 of them have a very specific mode besides the speed reduction.
Like a robot mode, or like
No.
a instant kill mode.
No, like so Evil Eye also says you can remove a character from your hand or card pool to draw a card.
Yeah.
Which is very good in characters that are stacking.
Okay.
What if you're
They're
not stacking?
then
What if you're just playing characters?
So
James.
the counterpoint to that would be in like an actual I'm not stacking.
Yeah.
I actually care more about the 2/5 than the 3/5 from Guilt Karma, and my something in my deck wants to commit a foundation, and so I can still commit a foundation and still use my Evil Eye.
So at that point, why would you say that you want to play Evil Eye over Karma? Because Karma also says cancel a thing, which
Sure.
is very relevant.
Sure, but I'm playing a bunch of one checks, and I can't afford to play any more 3s.
I mean, huh?
So that's like the argument is like
I'm playing 6s and 2s, and I'm playing Marathi.
and I have to have a speed reduction, and so Karma, sure,
And I have
Karma's in
characters
at
I
a
can
one
ditch
of
them.
because like Karma's really good, right? But like
Yes.
I have 3 Evil Eye in my deck because I still need that speed reduction, but I can't afford to
6s
play
and
on
2 Marathi
3s.
sounds sick.
It does not actually.
What? How
You
does
get
it-
Covert now.
everything gets covered. Sick Goro deck.
Finish your
Gets
thought, but like I'm
and
just having a
Sick
conversation.
Goro
And so-
deck. It gets covert.
And so like
It gets covered.
Guardian of the Spirit Sword also says flip, discard a card to pick up an asset, which if your deck has assets that you want to see, like it's obviously very good to rebuy Swordfish 2. It's good to find also various other assets that you may or may not be playing, like Kali Yuga, like anything. But it depends on what your deck is doing.
Okay, that's fair. So the card text matters a bunch to you.
So whatever synergizes the best with what your central game plan is. So like obviously, Turn plays Evil Eye because that card's insane in him. It says clear your card pool for draw a card.
Let's get off of these 5 cards because it's kind of, I think, diluting the point of the topic. How do you pick anti-stun hate in a symbol that doesn't have like give me like, how do you determine between anti-stun cards, or how do you determine between your speed buffs, or how do you determine between your draw cards? Blocks?
Yeah.
It's
one of the main issues is, like, if there are multiple, sometimes there's not. Most of the time there's not. But if there are multiple, it depends on, like, what he said the second ability is, as well as what the block is. What do I need for my zones?
So you don't care about difficulty as much?
No.
What about control check?
Sometimes I'd rather have a 5 than a 4.
What?
And
Yeah,
you'd rather have a
right?
6 than a 5.
No, actually, I can care less about 5 to 6.
I mean,
as long as it's not 4. Having a +1 is not the same thing as having a -1. This was a topic we were going to have at one point. What's the difference between a +1 and a +2?
Sure.
But, like, the difference between having one more difficulty doesn't matter as much because the odds of drawing that extra difficulty won't matter outside your first turn.
Okay.
So as long as you're still in a certain, like, range, you should still be fine.
Okay.
yeah.
The increased difficulty only matters for that one turn, maybe the second if you happen to check really, really badly.
Tyler?
I think it comes down to what's newer, because what's newer is better.
Or cooler.
Ooh.
So, like,
Huh.
so let's go back to this. I know you said get away from it. Let's go back to the speed thing. Heart of the Mountain is worse than Know Your Objective because Heart of the Mountain's second ability, because they both do the exact same thing, except for Heart of the Mountain's second ability is discard card for +1/-1, which isn't that good. It's very bad.
Yeah, actually can kill
Know Your
someone.
Objective.
And
Calm down.
it's
Hold
good
on.
gauge.
Hold
It's
on.
good gauge
Hold on.
hate.
Hold on.
Know Your Objective isn't as good as, say, Dark Side of Karma, because Dark Side of Karma cancels something and also reduces the speed of printer, which could be more than -2, and where its second ability is flip something else, which could be relevant, but cancel anything.
it's commit.
whenever you
It's
want.
commit. It's not.
Commit
It's not
to
flip.
flip.
Okay,
something.
sure, but like then you lose your -2 speed, and you don't get it back, and that in this context, it nulls the point of it. But then, like, I think the sword card is better than Dark Side of Karma because it's a free -2 on everything, sometimes -3.
Without a commit. It's just once per
Without a
turn.
pin. Yeah, it's once per turn. And then when you really need it, you can pick up, say, a card that has Breaker 3 in your discard pile. Just add it to your hand whenever you want.
Yeah.
So, and what that
So you
means
care
is,
more about the advantage that you get off of the
yeah,
initial effect of the card.
sure, yes.
So not necessarily the secondary effect, but the initial effect that it
Yeah.
happens.
It's like I put the sword card in my deck, whose name I can't remember for the life of me.
Guardian of the Spirit Sword.
Guardian of the Spirit Sword. Call it Spirit Sword. Thank you, Travis.
Nerd.
I put that in as a 3 of in any deck that can play it because it's a free -2 speed, and then I can just commit it afterwards because I gave something -2 speed. Oh, you're playing a weapon card because the weapons are really good right now? Hey, it's -3 speed on all your attacks. That's amazing.
Card's very good.
It is -4 because you get to commit it for
Sure.
+1 to your check.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah, I get that.
and with that card existing, all the old cards don't matter anymore because they aren't as good. And I don't need a million neg speed cards because I have this, and it's super free.
I actually care about what the cost of the card is. So it is really like the advantage. I care about, so like I want I go by difficulty first. I actually want to have like the lowest curve possible. I want to, on my turn 1, if I can build 7 in my 6-hander, I'm going to do that.
If you build 7 in your 6-hander,
Whoa.
We're playing
that's a sick average.
We're playing Avers, baby.
You play Covert.
Yeah, duh, play
Play
Covert.
Summer Heat.
Yeah. Oh boy, howdy.
Played more than Lost.
But like if I can curve out beautifully on my turn 1 and get like I just have more text on the board earlier than you, then I'm probably going to win the game because like you're going to feel pressured to not do things on your turn, and I'm going to feel pressured to do things on my turn.
Yeah.
And so like the card text is, as long as it is like comparable, like the difference between like the difference between, I want to say it's Cowgirl Edward and the Mega Man card that says when it's stunned.
For what?
Cowgirl.
Oh, when it readies?
Yeah, it like
How
readies
do you
this.
choose the difference?
Yeah, how do I choose the difference? The difference is I'm going to pick Cowgirl
yeah.
Edward because although it is a 2 diff, it pumps damage and there's like the secondary effect.
Yeah.
So like
The other one gives you +1 speed.
plus commit for +1 speed. If it was just like enhance once per turn +1 speed, I actually pick the other one.
Yeah.
I'd pick the Mega Man card if it didn't have the commit. But the fact that like this card says commit, but like gives me like +1 doesn't matter, but +3 does. Discard a card for +3 matters.
Yeah.
I'd pick that. But like under any of those symbols, I'd pick probably any other card instead. I'd rather just pick like a playable while committed card, or like, hey, I need a speed bonus. I'd rather play a 2 diff if it didn't commit, as opposed to a 1 diff if it did. Right?
I'd rather play Burning with Revenge or Wandering Pirate because those cards are both anti-stun that just does the job better.
Blocks.
Burning with Revenge definitely has a block, and it's
It
it
does not have a block. Anytime you play that card, it's being played in your card pool to be dropped down. That card never.
Well,
stays
yeah,
in
you
your
block
hands.
with it and then you drop it down.
Yeah, it's one of the sickest things you can do.
Yeah. Like what?
That card will never stay in your hand.
Yeah, because it's being used as a block.
It's being used as an attack.
Okay.
We did not change the topic to Burning with Revenge and how nutty that banned card should be.
That is pretty nutty.
It's just as good as Covert.
It's not. Covert's better.
Agree to disagree. So, like, what matters to me is the value of the words in relation to the number, in relation to the cost. So, like, a 1 diff that has to commit to do something makes my other cards harder to play, but a 2 diff that stays ready when to give -2 speed matters. But on the other hand, I actually think Know Your Objective is insane. I think that card's super
That
super
card
good.
is definitely slept on.
I'm in desperation. Well, I'll flip that refusing to let go. That card that was going to stop my big powerful attack.
Yeah.
My multiple is the thing that has to kill you. Well, I'm at 9. Flip it. I think that ability on a 1 diff is crazy.
It's very good.
Especially because that is just commit. It's a very defensive commit. Do this cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like Unhealthy Diet. Beautiful example of a card that I want to play. We had a topic a long time ago with Jake talking about like how to play aggressive decks, and his mentality of how to play aggressive decks was don't commit cards, quit committing cards for effects.
Yeah,
which makes total sense.
Yeah,
like why would nobody in their right mind ever should have played the BB Hood card commit for +1 damage.
Yeah,
nobody should have played that card. Yeah, but like. I know we did locally. I know
I know at one time you said it was insane.
I thought that card was super, super good. But then like he gave me that mentality. And that's the reason I'm reiterating what it's saying. And it's even more true now. Because like I'll commit to do this thing. Oh, you played a Moonset and put one of my ready cards back in my hand? Well, I hope that commit was really worth it, right?
Yeah. If it's not furthering your game plan, then committing extra resources to it probably isn't that good.
Right. Because then you don't get to play more cards and or you don't get to block more of their cards.
Yeah. So like one of the best things as far as like anti-stun goes, all has is obviously Wandering Pirate, or even not even just anti-stun. That card can make a lot of your aggressive turns less punishing.
Yeah, totally.
So like, oh man, I played this on a 5. I checked a 3. Sick. I'll commit these 2 cards. One of them is Wandering Pirate. Already this. When I'm building, I have to commit 1 more. Sick. Already both of them at the end of the turn, or at the beginning of your next turn.
That definitely happened last night, huh?
Yeah. It did. That card is very good.
Super good.
Yeah.
Any last minute thoughts on your choices when putting slots in decks?
Don't listen to people tell you cards are bad. Cards are as good as you want them to be.
It's true. That's a true statement.
Yeah.
Oh, I also
love bad.
I also think Flip is super super good.
Flip is.
I think Flip Flip is super underutilized, but commit flip blows. Commit flip's the
yeah.
worst.
Commit
Commit
flip's the
flip
worst out
better.
of all of them.
Commit flip better fucking in the game.
Commit flip better. Might as well have just said remove. No one cares about it anymore.
Yeah.
It's unloved.
So
Why do you think no one likes Funky Tomato?
true.
Actually, I think the card's pretty cool, but like, it's commit flip.
Or
so
or it
much.
has to do something
It's
else that's
so
really good.
much.
Like Power Cycle has another relevant effect. Oh, it's a 2 mid block. When I block with it, already something. It's also a spam. So like,
Spam meaning low difficulty with
Yes.
0 or 1 difficulty.
Yep.
You also get to put cards in your card pool for. I can't read that.
Covert.
covert intent. That is true. You also get to put something into your card pool for Fuma Seal, which is Taki's ultra rare, that says clear a card from your card pool to your momentum, and then if it's the only card in your card pool, you draw a card.
That's not covert intent.
You get to put a card in your momentum?
Yes.
Oh shit.
So right now,
Covert intent.
right now I'm playing it in.
You guys don't know yet. And you guys are gonna hate it. You guys are gonna fucking hate it.
They're laughing now. They'll see.
I can't wait to only lose to your Akuma deck because of that card.
I can't wait for you to lose to my Akuma deck, my Teisei deck, my
So-
Goro deck.
Bebop Blue is gonna kick the shit
So
out of these guys.
to get off.
Man,
Hey, I play
hopefully
Valentine.
I didn't do it on turn 2 and you didn't have momentum.
To get off of that for a second, in Satoshi, I am playing Fumaseal and Shadowblade Shuriken, so I can add.
Play better character.
I can play. I can form Satoshi. This gets 3 speed. It'll clear and I draw after it resolves, and I'll play it on a 6. I'll use Power Cycle to add a Shadowblade Shuriken to my card pool. And then I'll add it to my momentum and draw a card from Shadowblade. I'll draw a card from Fumaseal because it's the only card in my card pool. And then I'll draw another card after it clears.
So I think you're just telling me about this cool deck that you made, as opposed to like, why would you pick that card as opposed to something else?
So, because it synergizes with my deck, like I was saying.
That's why.
Yeah.
But like, okay.
So, like, and because it has the additional effect. So, like, it can do more things under certain symbols. Like, they're not going to print a card that does nothing under its symbols with that effect. Like, if it's putting a card into your card pool, that must mean that at least one of the symbols has something to do with cards in their card pool,
That's not true.
which Air obviously does.
I think it's supposed to be the
I'm telling you,
all
they're
effects,
not
but-
thinking about that.
I
I think
mean,
Ryan is. I think Ryan.
I definitely think Ryan is.
Shout outs to Ryan fam.
Yeah,
think Ryan
shout outs.
is.
I think you're doing a good job, buddy. Keep going.
Well, now let's talk about this action real fast.
Okay, that's not a little condescending.
Well, hold up. He did make covert intent.
That is
He
true.
did make covert intent.
You know, slip ups happen.
I want you two to get mad at covert intent. I think
I
we're gonna-
will.
I
That,
think,
that art is sick.
I think we're
I think
gonna
that's gonna probably be the art for Nats.
leave it. It's a good call. I think we're gonna leave it here. Actually, thank you very much for watching this. I would love to hear your deck building ideas. How do you pick which cards that you play in your deck or not? Let us know. Learn us something for once.
Get us learned.
Man,
Tam-
we would really
Tam's not
appreciate.
bright.
We appreciate being good in this game.
Doesn't believe.
So with that,
I want you to ask me.
topic 4. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Study Hall here on UFS University. My name's Tam, and I'm joined by
Travis TNT Tangeman.
James.
And Tyler.
What Study Hall is for the Underworld is we've taken a bunch of your guys' UFS
Like I
topics
said, or-
as well as some of our own, and we sit down and we discuss them with the birthday boy. If you like the content, please go to patreon.com/UFS University. Support us at any of the levels. We'd absolutely love it. Keeps the lights on. Keeps the content rolling to you. You can also suggest topics depending on what level you pick. If you don't have any bucks to toss, that's totally fine. Doing the cool YouTube stuff is just as helpful. Like, share, subscribe. Put it in local groups. And honestly, like sharing the video as big as it can be. Share it with your mom and your grandma. Your grandma likes Street Fighter, right?
Oh, look, it's Jimmy.
It's Jimmy.
That's Sagat, Mom. He's got a cool scar on an eye pad. So yeah, we'd
I know a guy with an eye patch.
we'd love to hear. Topic 4, before we get derailed too terribly hard, is going to be about the barrier of entry of UFS. So I was having a small conversation with my sweet baby boy Ryan fam, and I was like, "Hey Ryan, look at all these cool things that you can do, and blah blah blah. Like here's some ideas and blah blah blah." And he was just like, "Ha ha ha! None of that matters. Nobody. It's super hard to get in the game. I got to figure that out first." And so our job here as UFS University is to do Ryan's job for him. My question is, and now Jason Jasko Horansky, Ryan didn't ask me to do this. It was just I asked him how his day was going, and he was like thinking about this stuff. Showed me a bunch of Magic articles, which were really fucking cool, and was like, "How do I get people to play the game?" And we talked about it a little bit. And I want to bring it to the table. How do we get people to play the game? There's two things that I want to talk about. Two main points, and I want you to really try and stay on topic because I think this could go super super long. What is stopping people from getting into the game? What is this barrier of entry? And secondly, how do we fix it? Really focus on that first one. What is it? And then we'll really put our focus into how do we fix it. And then as we do that, I'm actually going to go get Michael. So you guys have a conversation. I'm going to grab Mike.
I think
We're gonna switch. We're gonna pull some switching.
I think the biggest problem with the barrier of entry right now is complex game mechanics.
I think it's the amount you have to learn in such a short time
Sure,
to be able to just
that's what it is.
play.
It's to play the game.
There's more
base
than
level.
just-
It's fairly complex.
So
I don't think it's like it's complex. There's more information than like your average card game.
Well, like I
Magic
think
is draw a card, play a dude, tap a thing.
Sure.
That's it. Those are like your three mechanics are draw a card, tap a thing, play a dude. That's it. That's what you do. Is you play a thing, you tap a card, you draw a card. That's it.
Sure.
In this you gotta check a card, look at the top, compare numbers.
that's
math.
That's what
all
makes
at
it
the same
complex.
time.
Is that there's so much. There's a list.
Yeah.
That you have to learn first, and then you can learn how to play.
So to explain it in the way that a player who I know who had cycled out of the game, who they were newer because they had a few issues, and one of the main issues was every decision that they made mattered more than in any other card game. So in UFS, whenever you make a decision, it is always game breaking. There's always a potential that it either wins you the game or loses you the game. And it's less so in other card games just simply because of the fact that we have a check system, and B, we aren't slinging spells at people or attacking them with creatures to win the game. Mm-hmm. We're winning through these attacks, which are all decision based, and that's how we win the game. So I think the main barrier of entry, I actually think there's two of them, is that every decision you make will always matter, like barring any RNG stuff, like, oh, it didn't actually matter because they checked bad or anything like that. But every decision you make matters, and the fact that it can be very off-putting as a new player to randomly die on turn 2.
Sure.
I actually think that's a huge
think
barrier for our game.
Isn't that like for any card game though?
No. You will... The only format... There are 2 formats that you can possibly die on turn 2 in Magic. And they're formats that barely anyone plays.
Okay.
So...
Does that not happen in Yu-Gi-Oh?
In Yu-Gi-Oh,
Yu-Gi-Oh, they're trying to get away from doing one turns.
They are.
Like, you can still just at any point sometimes just die.
Yeah. So
It happens.
Yu-Gi-Oh is another one where you can just randomly die, but Pokemon, most of the time you aren't just going to die on turn 2.
It's like a 3 to 6 turn process.
Yeah. Weiss Wars, you're not going to die on turn 2. Card Fight Vanguard, you're not going to die on turn 2.
You can basically die on turn.
No.
You can definitely.
You'll never actively lose the game
Oh, you're
on
right.
turn
You'll never
2.
actively lose. But if you ever end up at 2 on turn 1, you're done. Like there's almost no going back from that.
Yes, but not what we're talking about, James.
It's the same. It's the same concept. It's just sometimes that just kills you. It's why some people don't. It's the reason I personally also don't like Magic. It's just like getting Magic fucked.
Hello.
Really sucks, and like that just is like that's just losing right there. When you get mana screwed, it's just that's it.
It happens.
That's losing the game.
It happens. Luck is a factor, but I'm talking about we actively kill more people on turn 2 than any other card game barring Yu-Gi-Oh.
Hello everybody, we're back. So I brought Michael in because one, he was going to suggest this topic before I brought it up,
And he's our expert new player.
and he's our newest player, and he's played competitive card games for his entire life. So like his
Nerd.
yeah, dork. His insight on this would be really fun, and me and him are going to be sharing a mic the best that we can. But the show's yours, okay? It's your mic now.
How are you to share? How are you to share him?
Just gonna listen.
Oh, how are you sharing him?
All right. If it wasn't for like the fact that there was like, I guess I struck into the mic. If it wasn't for like
I don't
an
think
actual
that, don't
community that had like cards and like shared ideas, like I definitely wouldn't like A, be playing, or B, have like the sick deck that I have right now. Like if it wasn't for you guys and
If you didn't have cool
like,
friends.
getting me into the game, and then like having the cards like and not necessarily having me have to worry about getting certain cards.
Yeah.
So it just like widens like the amount of like cards and decks I can play, because like I could play Nutcracker if I want here, but if I'm like a new person,
Right.
I definitely
Yeah.
can't. I'm definitely not
Yeah.
playing Nutcrackers. But like it's really nice just to have like an environment that like allows you to succeed. And I feel like it'd be really hard to get into this game without it.
So with that, I'm gonna snuggle with Tyler. So with that said, though, like, are you saying that the way that you fix that is like have a better community project manager, like having somebody? I know at one point Sam was the Premier Store event runner, and she was like keep tabs on all the Premier Store events. I don't know if somebody's doing that currently or not, but like,
I believe I've been told it's Luke's job. I think Sam said Luke was the one who took over when she left.
Yeah. So I actually think that's another pretty decently large barrier in our game is actually the price of some cards or the price of staples. Like, yes, they can get high in other games, but if we look at the average cost of like a standard deck in Magic right now, you could probably get one for 150 to 200 and have a really good deck. But in this game, if I want to play this sick all deck, I need 4 Nutcracker, possibly Throw It Down, possibly all of these other expensive cards.
I have not seen. Did Dejanet play Throw It Down? No. Okay. What has Throw It Down done?
Nothing
Throw
recent.
It Down has not
It's
done anything
it's
in
still a
very
very
long
good
time.
card.
Sure.
Like, the card's still very good if you're playing an aggro deck, which all can definitely a good aggro shell.
You don't need Not Over Yet for that. You definitely don't need Not Over Yet. Not Over Yet. I mean, Throw It Down.
I mean, it's a very good card for aggro strategies. But I digress because that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about money staples. Stuff like Prepare to Fight is another very noteworthy mention. That card was and still, I believe, is 50-ish. And that card has done a lot in our game.
Yes, that one has done a very lot.
So a card game we didn't talk about is DBS. Is that also another card game where you can die really quickly? I haven't played recently.
Yes, that's.
okay.
But it's not turn 2. It's more of like a turn 3, 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only deck that could turn 1 or 2, they banned.
Okay.
Multiple times.
I don't know about price of cards. Every card game I've looked at, they all had very expensive cards, and UFS has sort of been the outlier. And that
UFS is cheaper than other card games.
yeah, like Nutcracker is insane, and like that's why
Nutcracker's
it's,
like our highest, but like our average is way under everybody else's average.
so I actually looked up and
Can people hear you?
I don't know. You guys can reiterate me. So I actually looked up prices, and it looks like for standard Magic decks, it's anywhere from the cheapest deck being $97 is like mono red, and that's just the name of it, mono red.
Yeah, it's actually cheaper than that.
Yeah.
All the way up to, and this is probably just like them selling it, right? So they have to turn a profit.
Yeah.
All the way up to $650. I'm seeing.
Yeah.
For a white, blue, black Esper control deck.
That is fun.
And so like paying $600 for the best deck sounds very Yu-Gi-Oh like. I mean, but at the same time, paying for 4 Nutcrackers plus Let's Cut Loose plus.
Let's Cut Loose is like a $8 card.
Yeah, but you gotta play 4 of it, right?
I mean,
so
it's
like
$8 rare. That adds up.
It adds up,
Yeah.
especially if you just buy a deck.
But like, I don't think it
And
gets
so, like, in Magic, there was, like you just said, there was also a range. So, like, you had this good mono red deck, $97. In our game, we have these X amount of decks that are good, and our budget decks aren't as good. Compared to a game like Magic.
But like Pokemon, so like I would compare our competitive scene more to like a Pokemon, where your money cards are mostly going to be rares, are mostly going to be foils, where like you're paying more for that than you are for things like that.
Also, there are a lot of we have a lot of random.
Mono red always plays more commons than I've seen any other format of that.
Yeah,
of that,
but
of
still,
those colors.
like,
because it's I'll drop a dude, I'll drop another dude, I played another dude.
we also have a lot of random rares and ultra rares that just don't do anything and are expensive. So like Flipcat has not really done anything, and the card's still the most expensive ultra rare in Street Fighter versus Darkstalkers.
That should not be true.
It is.
Should not. I said
It shouldn't,
Should
but
not
it
be
is.
true.
Because the card hasn't done anything, and it's still 30 plus.
I think that's not true.
It
comes down to an issue of there's only 2 to 3 sellers.
That's what
Yeah.
that comes down to.
But still, that is a barrier for a new player.
Sure.
But, like, that doesn't change anything that there are 2 or 3 sellers.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd find it
that
really
changes
hard
the
to get
secondary
cards.
market.
Yeah.
The secondary market also influences the ease in the game.
Like, especially if you're like newer to the community, you can't just like go to your card store and like buy packs. Like, it has to be a specific card store. Just because there's
It's not
like
everywhere.
such a select few like Jasco
It's not
stores.
as open to everything else.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's rough.
So
It is.
to kind of condense it down and sort of talk about what we're talking about, what the problem of what is the barrier to entry? Let's sort of reiterate.
The barrier to entry is,
Complexity
I would say, complexity.
of the game.
Complexity
Like
of the game.
How many things you have to learn right away to get to the base level.
Mm-hmm. And price/availability.
I'd say availability more than price.
Yeah, but price is still there. Price has to do with availability because consumers.
Sure. I think though that on the topic of availability, it's not. You have to have other people to play with, and we don't have.
That's also very
community's
true.
smaller.
You
our
have
community
to.
is very small.
So like the 3 things you need is a community, a good secondary market, and a easier way to get into the game to learn the basics.
Yeah.
all right.
Are the
So
3
I
things
think
you need.
I think the secondary market is fine.
I don't think so.
After
After looking at prices just now.
Sure. There-
So TCG player, that card goes for like 15.
Yeah.
I mean, Cat's a $15 card. Rochester has them for 36, and then I'm looking up Legendary Wolf right now.
Yeah, it's
It's
price
the
gouging
main-
is very bad in UFS.
It's the main 2 sellers we have for our game.
Like ever since I have started playing,
Trash.
price gouging in the secondary market has been very bad.
Okay. Sure. So then, how do we fix these problems?
You tell people not to buy from there, but that's rude and inconsiderate to those who have to try and run a business.
So
It's
not really.
It's hard.
so like the main way to fix it is honestly having more sellers,
Sure.
which we aren't at a place in our community where we can actively say that is a good solution.
I
Sure.
think we need to find a way to get people more into using TCG player.
Okay.
That's also very true.
Shout out to our TCG
Plug, plug,
players.
plug.
Tam gives me some
Plug,
fucking
plug,
dumbass
plug,
face.
plug.
So then we do that by having the game be more
Open.
accessible.
Which can also
Is it just
even
my
be
phone?
down to the sets that we end up getting.
No.
So
Okay.
like our sets, they're all like fighting game oriented. Most of them, like 75% of our sets are fighting game oriented. So
Which
if
is
we,
already like a small.
which is
community.
which is a very niche group of people.
And then Legendary Wolf.
And then
website's down right now.
the 2 non-fighting game sets that we have are an anime, which is yet a very niche group of people, and a game,
We'll take over the world.
another card game,
It's a cool anime that nobody knows about.
It's not.
Yeah. Another card
so here's
game.
the things that are not that are not fighting games. We have Mega Man. Mega Man's not a fighting game.
That's
Mega
very
Man's
true.
been in a
Don't
few
you-
fighting games, but it's not a fighting game. It's
It's a game.
It's a platformer.
Yeah, that's
It's a
the
platformer
one.
adventure game.
That's the one that I would say was very opening to new players because it's a title that a lot of people have played or at least heard about. Like Mega Man is a very known name. When you think Mega Man, oh, it's this 8-bit character. Like that's always what I think of when I think Mega Man.
And in my opinion,
think of
we
a man
can't
on a
really
mission.
count Endines or Seventh Cross. Seventh Cross and Endines are very cool, neat concepts, but they're not there to bring people in.
That's
So,
very
okay.
true.
They're there to support the game itself.
So
Yeah.
if it's not sets, then let's do Fam's job. How's Fam get new players into the game? How's our sweet baby boy Ryan get new players into the game?
We get sets people want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they see a cool set, and then
Yeah.
what? How do they go from there? Because then they say, "What's this card game? Cool. What do I do now?" Oh,
We need an
it's very
easier way
complex.
to simplify the complexity without changing it. Without changing
You
the
right?
complexity, we need to simplify it.
So upstairs, we have packaged, sealed, a My Hero Academia card game.
Yes.
We all at this table fucking love My Hero.
Yes.
And it has not been cracked open. We love card games, and it has not been cracked open. So you think the fact that My Heroes just there's a My Hero card game.
Yeah.
Why are we not all over it, right?
Because none of us actually have the time to do that.
Well, no.
We're
but,
stuck here
like,
doing a
I have
podcast.
no interest in actually playing that card game.
Well, it's because it's not a. So it's not the card game we play. So name the last 3 card games you have actually played.
UFS, Dragon Ball Super, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Now, why did you play Yu-Gi-Oh?
Because there was a TV show.
No, why did you play Yu-Gi-Oh recently?
Why did I? Oh, because
We
there
were
was
trying
a
to run a
TV show.
podcast. Because we were trying to run a podcast.
No. I played because I wanted to reconnect with my friends. It was a community.
Yeah.
I originally played because of that, and so.
So then you didn't get back into the game for the game. You got back into for your friends.
correct.
Okay. Why'd you last play Super?
That was my job.
Yeah.
I had to play for work.
You had either.
And Gohan's sick.
So the
and
game
there's a TV
didn't
show.
do it for you.
No, but
The game needs to do it for you.
But the game kept me playing.
Yeah.
I like Dragon Ball Super's mechanics
I
like a
also do.
bunch.
I
I
love
think charge one from hand is super good. I don't get mana screwed. It's impossible to get mana screwed in that game, and you always feel like you get to play a card.
it's also the reason why I like Duel Monsters.
Kind of like
Duel Master, sorry.
UFS. I always feel like there's
You
at
have a
least
chance.
some sort of a fighting chance, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel that way in Yu-Gi-Oh, so I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
The reason I stopped playing DBS is I didn't have the funds to play DBS, and they didn't make a good Gohan until like now. And so like I think like the biggest thing is we have to keep the game fairly simple, as well as it should be easy for people to get a bunch of good cards.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things that Yu-Gi-Oh's ever done is the holiday tins.
Yeah.
That's also what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Were the so the tins were a very good thing that I think they did incorrectly. All these mass reprints they're doing with Jessica.
Okay. You just said tins, and we talked about tins and a
I
different
just
card game.
figured everyone would know what I was talking about since I segued from their tins to our tins.
You should let Michael talk about what the holiday tins are.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, so the holiday tins usually take like 1 or 2 staples, like from the like previous format, and reprint them, and then they also take other good cards from like over the time, and they reprint those as well. On top of like coming out with a new card, like I don't know, like new Shoryuken or
Covert Intent.
Covert Intent. But it just like they look at the secondary market and they're like, okay, all these secret rares are being played. Okay, well, all these like expensive ultra rares or like harder to find like promos and whatnot are like super expensive. So to give more of them to the community, to give more players access, they like constantly reprint like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and so
like, the problem with that game is that it's got a fluctuating market, but it helps the secondary market to where like certain people aren't gouging other people for cards and stuff like that.
Like my best 2 examples of the way we can use this is there was a time when Templar was a $30-some-odd card, and it was the white version, not the version you could just get in the pack. Because for whatever reason, at one point, they printed a white version that like no one had. It wasn't handed out as promos, wasn't handed out as anything. It was just a white version that existed, that some people had, some people didn't. Wasn't handed out, wasn't given away. Just
I think it was handed out, but like to.
It wasn't redemption. It wasn't handed out.
I
as
think we got
prizes.
them at PGCs. How did we get $1 million?
So after a while, when people started being like, "Well, how do I get this?" They started doing it,
Okay.
where they gave it away to just the person who won.
So
Okay.
So like my best 2 examples are the Revoke that just came out. That cool foil Revoke would look sick in the 10. Like if we got like a set of like, it should be like all the promos they're handing out for these PTCs, like the last 3: Skull Barrier, Skull Barrier, High Seas, Dodge, Hyperbomb, and then you get the new card, you get the Revoke. Last 5 good cards reprints they printed.
I say actually fuck that. And here's why I say fuck that is you do that and then you kill your tournament prize support. I actually say let's.
No, I meant after.
No, I say right now, let's make different reprints. I think Overly Dramatic should be a reprint. I think Allurophobia should be a reprint. Have these cards that are already in standard. Have a card that's already in standard. Do the same thing, but hey, here's a pack of 10 cards that you get from. Here's your reprint.
Nutcracker reprint.
Sure, I'm super down for a Nutcracker reprint. But like, you ready?
Everybody gets
When did Bebop when did Mortal Kombat come out?
Last year.
Last year. So at the end of this year, as a holiday 10, let's put out another Nutcracker. So the secondary market gets to have that card for what? A year and a half, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a $70 version that if you have to play Nutcracker right now, you can. But then you've got all the people at locals who are going, man, I sure wish I had 4 Nutcrackers. Well, if you want to spend $100 on 10s, which you certainly will because you're going to get a Nutcracker for $25, you're gonna get this booster pack that has it. You have a chance to open up. It refloods the market with these secondary cards again. It ruins the price of the old packs, but maybe we print less of those packs, right? And so like you have these chase cards that jump in a little bit later. So the reason Platinum was so good, the reason Platinum was so amazing is it kickstarted us playing this game with Warriors of the Night cards. We didn't have any. We had like 4 Warriors of the Night cards. I
only collected for me.
I had none. And so like being able to like jump in with Platinum and be like, this is a 200 card set of a bunch of reprints of things that I've never played with before. The issue with it is they were power creeped to hell and half of them are rotating.
Yep.
Remake the watermark and put them in standard.
yeah, which I think they did that. Like the idea of Platinum was good, but it was executed poorly because of what was in the set. And I think the same comes for the tins. So if you look at the packs, I believe it's 2 Capcom packs or Platinum packs.
It's one Platinum, 3 Street Fighter, 1 Darkstalkers versus Street Fighter, and 1 Mega Man.
Okay,
3rd Mega Man.
but
That's it.
so even including that 1 Platinum pack where
Half of
almost
that doesn't matter.
yeah. So like
And the other half Street Fighter.
yep, which also is not very good for newer players.
Actually, I think Street Fighter is a great set for new players.
But
That set's basic
it's
as
not
shit.
if they want to get into the game competitively.
Well, who
Well,
are we
if
trying
they
to
want-
sell to? Are you trying to sell to the competitive player or the casual player? And so that's the question here.
That's
right?
true, but
The
we
competitive players would want to buy more stuff to make them more competitive.
Well, with how these tins that are like currently out are made, that helps the competitive like market. That because that doesn't help because everybody knows it's got Darkstalkers versus Street Fighter that's gonna rotate soon. It's got this Mega Man
That's
pack.
not going to rotate.
no
Sorry, it's got the Mega Man pack
Yeah,
which
that's
will rotate
gonna-
soon, and then it already has Platinum, which
It's
is
basically
half
rotated.
rotated.
but
So like no one really wants to buy that except for the
Your
promo,
casuals and the promo.
which people can just buy singles of later after people have already opened.
but
You can't buy singles of Covert and 10. It's going to be a $60 card. You should just buy the 10s.
Definitely should just buy the 10s.
You should buy the 10s because it's going to be a $4,500 card.
If
The
it's
card's insane.
$4,500?
$4,500 for one copy of that card. I'm gonna buy my
It's
next
new
car
gateway
off for
shuffle.
those.
but like they can release like a style of tin that like does have like the occasional reprints, like, and it doesn't have to reprint like 4 like really crazy good cards. Like it could just reprint like
Good staples.
3 good relevant staples and then
And
like
one new
1 like Nutcracker card or something like
So
that.
they
Like,
kind of did this with Prepare to Fight in the, what's it called? The
League
League
Kit.
Kit. Is
that which was
Prepare to
good,
Fight was just in there. Prepare to Fight was this
They printed
$40 card that,
and you could get the entire thing for what,
5?
60?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
They
like,
printed 5 old cards. Not spinning Necro. Spinning, Pile Driver, Showoken, Cage Fighter, Prepare to Fight, and
And then they also printed some Darkstalkers cards as well. So like this came out. Was this before?
No, those are the only cards that weren't in the first 2 sets. that they printed.
there was
Yeah.
just the, this is
It's
just
the second
extra
half of
cards.
Platinum. It's the second half of Platinum.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, but So did they print this after LK was banned or before?
After.
Liu Kang.
Definitely after.
Okay.
Definitely
Yeah.
came out after.
Because I was going to say they also reprinted Nero Fatica, which at the time was like what, 50?
Yeah.
So
I mean, neurophatic. No, it wasn't. Never mind.
Yeah.
We didn't.
It
have
came
any
out
new
afterwards.
version. Okay.
Does our game need structure decks?
Yes.
either that or, to be honest, special editions. Like special editions for UFS would be fantastic. Like they have in Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's you get these 3 packs, but you also get one of these 2 cards.
So the reason I bring it up is like, currently it is not possible to make a Street Fighter vs. Darkstalkers deck or a not Mortal Kombat, a Street Fighter vs. Darkstalkers deck, a Soul Calibur, or a 7th Cross deck with a singular box. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So you have to buy more than a box or singles,
And
which means
so-
that you're spending so much, as opposed to I'm gonna spend $30 and get a structure
Yeah.
deck and I go play in a tournament.
And so as of right now, we've only had like turbo decks, which does
It's sort of the structure decks.
y-
It's
but
our game structure decks.
Yeah, it is, but it's not good enough at the same time because turbo is a very niche format that, to be honest, barely anyone plays. Like we had how many people for Turbo Worlds?
Well, that was invite only.
So I think you're missing the point of like the turbo decks themselves. It was to get you and your younger brother to play the game.
Yeah,
right?
I understand.
And so the fact that it was a turbo deck, it was 80 cards as opposed to 2 60-card decks. So
Yeah.
selling one thing for 25 so that you and your little brother can play, as opposed to two $20 things, was like the point.
I mean, Magic did 60 card structure decks with 2 of them for 20. Like that was a thing that they did.
Yeah, but Magic makes money.
Okay, no. But so it's a very fine comparison.
Yeah.
It's a super fine comparison.
So,
what
like-
I'm saying is I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I believe that every set should have a structure deck come out.
Yeah.
I
If-
believe that. Or
If we just upgrade from the turbo to the actual structure decks where we get 60 cards, I think it would be much better for new players because I think it's kind of discouraging if you buy a turbo deck and you can't play in a local event with your turbo deck.
So, Michael, you have played Yu-Gi-Oh. All three of you have played Yu-Gi-Oh.
Correct.
You're out just a little bit, but did you know that in Yu-Gi-Oh title there's a difference between structure and starter?
No, I
Did you
didn't
know that? So a starter deck is actually like a exclusively reprints, and there's like 5 new cards in the whole thing.
Okay.
Mhm.
And a structure deck there's 60-70% are new cards, and the rest are all reprints.
Yeah.
I actually don't think our deck needs structure decks. I think our game needs starter
Starters.
decks.
Oh, yeah.
We could easily, for this year, we could have built 12, one for each symbol, starter decks that
Yeah.
exist.
For sure.
For this quarter, we'll have 3 of them. For next quarter, we'll have another 3. Next quarter, we'll have another 3. And here are staples in all of these symbols that are coming out.
Yeah. Yep. That's an amazing idea.
It'd also be a solid way to reprint things.
It's how
Yeah.
you reprint things.
Yeah, it's how we reprint
Like
things. It's how
Nutcracker's
we
a
get new
common, but
players.
just drop the original price, or actually, it might actually raise the original price.
I don't know if I want to live in a world with common Nutcracker now. Okay.
You'd make it the one of. You would make it the one of like
Oh, it
ultra
wouldn't-
rare
it
type
would-
thing.
It would not matter what rarity you made that common on Nutcracker. The other Nutcrackers would rise through the roof.
Please reprint anything else besides Nutcracker. And
So here's the thing though. You
Please
ready?
drown us
we,
in
we
Nutcrackers.
reprint Nutcracker because like that's the chase card up from under all. Like you have to play 4 Nutcracker in order to play the all symbol. Now Nutcracker has flooded the format because everybody has access to them. The card is overpowered. We ban it. Right? And so this is the way that you determine whether cards are overpowered or not. Yeah, you have.
It's
have-
also where we
you
get a
have
ban list we
a
need.
singular rough format because everybody has access to everything because the secondary market gets their initial bump, their initial push of, hey, fatalities are still $50, but because of the end of year stream, one of these tins is we've reprinted fatality with 2. Is that the camera?
It was your computer.
Yeah, that was a
You got a
Facebook
message.
message.
We have reprinted fatality with 2 different Mortal Kombat characters while we still have the license. It's no longer Melina and Goro. It's actually Scorpion and Sub-Zero. It's actually Quan Chi and it's Quan Chi and Scorpion. There's the head kill, right? So like
It's Quan Chi and Shinnok.
It's Quan Chi and Shinnok. Like we have 2 new characters that are like doing this thing.
Man, I just want a second Mortal Kombat set now.
I agree.
It'd be really sick.
Okay. So, hey, let's get back on topic. We fixed the barrier of entry with. We didn't fix it with.
We suggested fixing how.
We
how to fix
suggested fixes.
it, on how to fix it.
We grabbed our hot glue gun.
Sure. With the starter decks.
Flex. There you go. We're back.
Yep.
Okay,
we back.
finish your joke, Tam.
Flex Seal, please pay for dinner. I think structured
We'll send you a
decks
bill.
are super good. I think reprints of high rarities coming down. The issue is we don't quite know what it does to the second market, honestly. Like, part of the issue, if you want to talk about gouging people, the original Nutcrackers are going to spike. They're going to get more expensive. And so
But
people
that's
who
only
are,
for people who are rarity whore.
people who are rarity whores, and it's going to take. I'm gonna get on my knees.
Oh man, that's the position you're used to.
It's gonna. It's gonna. I'm used to that too. It's gonna take and ruin the secondary market. Like so Rochester CCG and Legendary Wolf are now going to have these $70 cards. Their liquid assets are going to either skyrocket or plummet. We don't know who's going to be willing. People very rarely want to buy a $70. Who's going to buy a $100 Nutcracker, right?
Right.
Especially for a game that's not that big. But the point is, let's lower the barrier of entry, and so now the game is going to get bigger, and so people are going to care.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
How
I
do we
agree.
fix the complexity.
Mic drop.
You don't fix the complexity. You fix the ease of the complexity. How they learn it.
Yeah.
You fix how you learn it, not how
Ease your
not what it is.
complexion.
You don't fix what it is. You fix how you learn it.
Sure.
What does that mean?
You need an easier way that we need to find an easier way of teaching people. Like we're trying to figure out the whole teaching thing we're doing with the videos. We need to find a way to just make it better.
Wait.
Yeah.
With our turbo decks, do we have the manuals that
Yes.
explain the mechanics? Okay. Because I don't remember
Definitely
seeing them.
do, but like
It tells you everything that you need to know. It doesn't necessarily tell you how to play though.
You
Well,
could.
yeah. But like,
it
I
tells you
think
how to play a card.
yeah, I think that's a good foundation though.
I know how to play one card, and that's it, and I'll pass my turn. That's all the mat says.
Well, like you can make like a real rule book, in a sense, like they do in Yu-Gi-Oh! Structured and starter decks. They come with
That's-
a playmat and a rule book.
Yeah, that's what I was
because
trying
that's
to
how you
reference.
get random people like that catch their eye. Oh, whoa, a Mortal Kombat starter deck in some random game. Yeah, and then they buy it, and then if it doesn't come with a rule book, oh, okay, well, I wasted my money. But if it comes with a rule book, then you can learn how to play the game to see if you actually like it or not.
Yeah,
We
Right.
definitely have a rule book. Like we for sure have a rule book.
It's just not very
It's
big.
It could be
Better.
everything could always be better, right? We can always change, adapt, make better. The question, the thing is
Make it
do you know
quicker.
how I learned to play Yu-Gi-Oh? I watched Yugi Moto play Yu-Gi-Oh. You know how I learned to play UFS? I watched you guys play UFS.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know how to play Magic very well because I've never really watched somebody. I'm positive if I pick up a rule book, it's not going to teach me how to play Magic very well.
And so, with something like that you could do is, I mean, if they have like a website, like you can have like an interactable, like video, like explanation of like how to play the game. Like there used to be in like Yu-Gi-Oh books, it'd come with like a disc to like teach you how to play the game, and it's like interactable and like it's super neat. And like Pokemon TCG Online does that, like in a sense of like the game is very like automated for you, and so it's gonna like tell you like, okay, well this is happening because like this is just how your card works, yada yada.
So
So it's almost like you could make like an online version of the card game, and like not only branch out because it's the internet, so you could like get a lot of attention, but you could also like get I don't know. I think I just said it, but like more social media presence.
Sure.
Because internet.
So before we jump on to the reason why we can't play UFS online, so like this really cool thing that I just thought of. What if we had scripted tutorials? You ready? So you go on the Jaska website. how to play UFS, and you got to pick one of the main characters. You got to pick Scorpion, you got to pick Siegfried, you got to pick Spike, you got to pick whatever, and you picked who your opponent was, right? And it drew you the 5 same cards every time, and it told you exactly how to play and what you're looking for in these cute little infographics, and you did it. And so, hey, you're gonna build a foundation on a 3, on a 2 plus 1, and it's the same foundation. You have to play it every time, and you now click next. All right, you actually failed this foundation, so it'll go to your discard pile, and now your turn's over. It's now Vicious's turn. And Vicious has played this, and then he plays this, and then he plays this. All right, it's time to attack. And so you go through a demo, but it is it's interactive. I'm doing the things. I'm placing the cards down in order to play the game, as opposed to just looking.
Staged.
It's staged. It's 100. I can click Spike versus Vicious 100 out of 100 times, and it'll be exactly the same.
The checks are exactly the same. Tutorials and like you
yes. So
where like the first game is always like
100%.
Like the first 5 turns are just you're doing this.
I gotta watch that old man. I gotta watch that old man catch the Caterpie, and he's gonna catch the Caterpie exactly the same way in blue and red, 100% of the time. 100% of the time. 100% of the time. He'll never KO that Caterpie.
You're right, but it's
but
not.
it's a Weedle.
And it's also
It's a
not
Weedle.
100% catch rate.
What?
Sometimes he fails.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But then doesn't he just throw another
No.
Pokeball? Okay.
So,
It kills your game.
And sometimes he does KO it.
in the newer versions.
Sometimes they get KO'd. Sometimes he doesn't catch it.
Well,
and then it just
Okay.
it exits and goes.
Okay.
And I didn't do
Who
it.
cares?
But that's how it happens.
That's right.
That's how
Okay.
it works.
But like that, what I'm saying is like we have this very scripted thing that when you get a pack of cards, it goes to the website that says a QR code. It goes to the website and says learn to play.
Kind of like
here's
the
it.
things they put in the Pokemon packs.
Yeah.
And the ones Force Will had.
The top box, box toppers, the inserts. Learn to play the
Pull
game.
one. Yeah.
So another thing that I think we, because of our community being as small as it is, we don't have like YouTube presence when it comes to tutorials. So when it comes to tutorials, calm down.
We have one
We
video.
don't have
So-
people that are good enough. That make the-
So
the YouTube
we
tutorial.
had
And there are tutorial videos, and we have one video.
we have an outdated tutorial from Shane Duckworth, shoutouts, from a very long time ago,
We have a Jasco
which
video as well.
which
It's
explained
also very outdated.
the very basics of the game, which were also, even our basics are pretty complicated as far as card games go. So like,
I don't think they're more complicated. I think we just have more of them.
well, yeah, that's true. So like, if I go and I search up how to
The
play
first
Magic
5
the
minutes of this
Gathering,
video.
if I go and I search up how to play Magic the Gathering, I can easily see 20 plus videos on the front page of how to play Magic the Gathering. But if I go search up how to play UFS, I can see like 4 outdated videos that maybe teach me the game and maybe don't.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's also
Then that's
some-
just we got to do better. But or somebody has to.
You're
do
in
better.
charge of that now, Travis. Bye. Let's get started.
Somebody do better, because if it's not us, then I don't know if you think
Make
you
it
can.
you.
If you think you can, then please go ahead
No.
and do it.
I'm
Make
really
it
positive.
you.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Make it you. You do.
So with that, we're gonna close this very unorthodox episode of UFSU.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Michael, for coming down, at least for the little bit that you did.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's enough out of you.
That's enough out of you.
So from all
Here,
of
Mike,
us here
Michael,
at
you can have
UFS University, stay learned.
Get learned.
Been learned.
Trying to get learned.
Goodbye.
Happy birthday, James.